yard work yesterday. Been moving things in and out of my house for the last little bit.
It's still from the water damage?
Well...
Or you're cleaning?
Well, so the place has to be sold, so that... Well, I tried to give the place to my ex-wife, but she doesn't want it. She wants money, so...
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that's not surprising. Yes.
So, I'm selling it, but it helps if it's empty.
Absolutely. Okay. There are some cucumbers that are trellised along in here. Tomatoes. You know, I'm no expert. Instructions from Rachel. But then there are some too that are low to the ground.
Plenty is a nonprofit organization that serves Floyd County. Our mission is to nourish community and preserve Floyd County traditions by growing and sharing food, while enlivening the broader conversation about sustainable food practices. And so we have 4 core programs and some seasonal programs. So our core programs are our pantry, which runs 3 days a week. We also do deliveries twice a week into the community. That's sort of like a mobile pantry. And then we have portable produce, which is for families that can't make it to our pantry because they don't have transportation, or they're too frail to leave the house, or they're caregiving. So there's something that's preventing them from being able to come to our pantry. So then we're able to pack bags of produce and have volunteers deliver those. So we send produce and bread and pet food if we have it. Then we have community lunch. During the cool part of the year, it happens once a month, and in the summertime, we do it once a week. And that's an opportunity for people to come together and have a meal regardless of a need for food. It's really focused on just having everybody from all walks of life sit down together and have a meal together. And then we have our farm, and our farm is a production farm. We grow food for all of our food programs here, as well as a small percentage of what we do is for sale to bring income back into our organization. But the great majority comes into our food programs. And the farm is also an education space. It's a place where we have classes on really basic classes on growing food. It's a place where students come to do service learning. It's a place where volunteers and interns come to learn. So those are our core programs. We also have some seasonal things, like in the summertime, we're this year for the first time doing Market Kids, which is for kids 7 to 12 years old, and that's intended to teach kids about growing food, eating healthy, and have an entrepreneurial skills. So they're growing a garden and they're selling their produce at the market. So that's being launched this summer, which is really exciting. In the wintertime, we do something called Snow Day Supper. So that's targeted to families that might be eating 2 meals a day at the school, and when the school's closed for snow days, sometimes there's a need for food. The wonderful thing is the school system has started opening schools to feed families that might need it, but for families that can't get to the schools, we can deliver food if that's needed. So those are our programs, and my name is Rachel, and I'm the assistant director. And most of what I do is volunteer coordination. I'm grateful to say we have a lot of wonderful volunteers who support us across all of our programs, from going and collecting food to preparing the pantry and running the pantry, delivering bags to people at home if they can't get here, and making lunch on Community Lunch Day. So I'm really so deeply grateful for all of our volunteers, and so I'm responsible for welcoming people into the organization, training them, and assigning them to tasks, and then troubleshooting if there's any troubleshooting to be done, and also filling in when there are gaps. So a big part of my job is volunteer coordination. I also do program oversight, and gratefully, I still get to work on the farm some. So I do a lot of things, but those are my big ones.
It's something about the place. It is about this physical place. There's something magic that the best in people come out, and I think that brings about sharing and thinking about other people and giving to other people. And it happens both directions. The people that give, they also receive. The people that receive, they give. That's another part of the magic too, is that we're just kind of all in here together, all helping and giving, and it's almost like the community's group project. Everybody weighs in, helps out, contributes in whatever way they can. It's a group consciousness. Plenty is on the community's mind. A lot of people are growing extra food for Plenty, for the purpose of bringing it over here.
There truly is plenty. There truly is abundance. And that has been a huge lesson for me being here, is that so much of food that we're able to offer to people would otherwise have gone into the dump. And so we're able to collect that and to offer that abundance to people. So I feel really grateful for that. And I mentioned we have so many wonderful volunteers. I feel grateful for the people that make it happen.
We absolutely do serve many people that are truly hungry and in need. We've done some research with some of our interns last year, and we interviewed almost 100 of the people coming through the food pantry. A significant portion of them say they would be going without a meal if they weren't able to come to Plenty. Their children would not have enough to eat that week if they weren't able to come. So we're feeding families. We're also an important support to senior citizens. And that's very often senior citizens who financially can't access food, but also physically can't access food. They have no transportation. So we're right now serving 55 to 60 homes with the portable produce program. So that's an ongoing support that people need to be fed. On average, more than a quarter of the people that come to the food pantry are here for the first time, month after month after month. So they come once, they're helped, and we never see them again. It was a temporary crisis that we were able to help with.
We have 3 employees, but we're doing a huge amount of work. I mean, we're serving about 120 families with pantry. We're serving, usually our portable produce is 50 to 60 families per week. So it's 120 at the pantry, 50 to 60 per week with the portable produce, around 50 to 70 a week for the lunch. A lot of people. And so I feel grateful. All that work couldn't be done by 3 people. So I feel grateful for the people who come and give their time, the people who donate financially and make it possible. And I'm just humbled. By all of the heart and soul that comes in here from volunteers and the people who come here for food.
One of the surprises that I had when I started working here was I had no idea how important the interns, the environment of learning is here at Plenty. We have as many as 5 to 10 interns coming through, and they range from undergraduate to postgraduate. They are studying a variety of disciplines, but it's this place that is a unique environment for all of those different disciplines. It's kind of an unsung mission that Plenty has, which is teaching others about that magic that we have here. How do we do that? How do we further the values of this nonprofit community in a very collaborative way?
There's really a broad array of opportunities because we're doing so many different things, and we have, and there's a lot of moving parts. So yeah, so and we do a volunteer orientation on the last Wednesday of the month, right after our community lunch. So it's always the last Wednesday of the month at 1 o'clock, we do a volunteer orientation. So it's always a good way for someone to come and join us. So.
We have 2 acres currently under cultivation. We have a high tunnel and a greenhouse that produce for us in the cold months. We at times have interns that provide additional help on the farm, but we, in large part, there too rely greatly on volunteer help, as well as the interns. At any given time, this time of year, there's always planting, weeding, harvesting, washing, packing. There's always plenty to do around the farm. We have 2 bakeries. One is Bimbo in Dublin, and we pick up there every Saturday. That's all your brands like Entenmann's and Thomas and a world of things. It's a depot for different drivers. And the last time I went, we filled a Toyota Highlander to the roof. And that's impressive because we do not take anything that's unhealthy. So we turned away from all the donuts and the pastries and stuff and only focused on the principally wheat bread and rolls and sandwich bread, and fill it to the rafters. So in that pantry there, we will have just each week, the top, all these bins will be all the way around the room filled with bread. We also pick up at Panera in Christiansburg on Sunday nights, and they fill out the rest. So it'll be all the way around the room. And again, it's all gone at the end of the week. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, this way. It's kind of tricky right now because of the remodeling. And when I was trained, I was told that we try to be like ninjas, so no one even knows we're here.
Kind of hard not to notice.
Which is a little hard. Which is kind of hard because you kind of have to weave through here. Well, and with the remodeling going on, it's like everything's compressed. Every day we bring 2 empty coolers in, and 2 full coolers are waiting for us to be picked up.
Push the handle
No,
down.
the handle has to go down.
That way we can push it as close to the side as we want to.
So, lots of corn. Usually these are completely full, and sometimes they're bursting. Let's see how this one looks.
There we go.
Yep. Okay, and then we leave 2 behind, and they'll be filled up again tomorrow.
You got it?
If we
Probably
don't
just
pick
getting
up,
thrown away.
It's in the dumpster. Yeah, there's no second line coming behind it, and we rarely, once in a blue moon, something will happen to a volunteer, and it's really sad because people will say we saw it in the dumpster. It takes 2 volunteers to do it. As you can see, they're very heavy. But with 2 people, it's manageable. And we do it 364 days a year, every day but Christmas, and it takes 2 people. Now we go to dairy.
So what we normally do is we leave these here and then go pick up dairy, and then on our way back.
Is that what you do?
Grab them on our way out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here.
Okay. Yep. You never really know today's a big day.
Oh, great.
Yep. Okay.
Well, we're gonna take back one of these crates.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
So, you want to do that crate?
Yeah, we'll fill it up. Because we need to leave an empty one behind.
Okay.
Just like the other place.
So are these outdated, or how do they end up coming in?
All of this food, none of it is, which we don't call it bad. It's just beyond the use by date. So through Feeding America and just good food practices, we have specific dates that we know the food is good beyond the sell-by date, and it varies by the type of food.
You got it?
Oh yeah, that's an easy one. It's it takes some stature to hoist the coolers on the tables, and just to lift them. So it's great in summer when we have interns and young student help.
And
the sun beating
you get
down
a lot
on
of that? A lot of interns?
It's so many. Yes, it's wonderful. I didn't realize that when I first came to Plenty. It was unexpected that the intern function of Plenty is. I mean, it is part of Plenty's mission that we are a place where people can come, young people can come and experience working in a community-supported nonprofit where many groups are coming together to accomplish a mission through sharing their different gifts and abilities, and it's a training for many of these students. We have occupational therapy students, we have business students, social work students. Many of them are graduate students that are doing their practicums and field work. Many come to do research. And as a result, we get even additional people that are coming to work with those students themselves, clients of the students, people with disabilities. We have the ACE students, they come, which is great. A wonderful quality about Plenty is, I think it's because everyone is on the same level.
Yeah.
It isn't, we're serving you, it's come in, be a part, we're all in it together, and so there's always people pitching in. The best way to find out more about Plenty is go to our website, plentylocal.org. And if you need assistance through the Portable Produce Program, there's an online form, so that's easy to turn in, and you will be added to our delivery routes the very next week. But there's information about all our programs there, as well as volunteer opportunities. And you can contact us directly through the website, or you can contact us at plentylocal@gmail.com or plenty@swva.net. Either one will get to us, and one of us here on staff will be in contact with you and talk about taking advantage of the volunteer orientation that we have on a regular basis, or just invite you to come by and experience the magic yourself. But probably the best way to get an introduction to Plenty and to get your bearings is to come to a community lunch. From June through August, it's every Wednesday at noon, no reservation needed, just show up. The rest of the year, it's the last Wednesday of the month, and also at noon. It's a home-cooked meal. We try to cook it. We have wonderful cooks that come in, and they make up their recipes for the week based on whatever we have a bounty of. So it's using ingredients off the farm and prepared just for the lunch. Our only requirement to receive food is that you're a resident of Floyd County. We don't have income requirements. We think that's important, and it's a value that we stick to, because, for one, there are people that wouldn't come to a food bank for assistance just out of shame. It's difficult to get over that pride barrier. We don't want even one person to go hungry because we put them in that situation, so we don't ask that question. To me, it's grace. That's what you do. If your neighbor asks you for help, you don't ask any other questions, you just give them help. If your neighbor says, I'm hungry, I need food, you don't say, show me your W-2. You respond. That's what neighbors do.
Plenty is possible because of all of the people in the community that give to Plenty in all of the various ways that they give, whether they're giving from produce from their garden, or they're coming in, they're donating their time, or they're able to make a financial donation, or even just telling somebody about what we do. All of those things matter. And so what our work is possible because of this, the generosity of this community. And so I'm grateful for that. And I think that should be said.